Hamas has said it would be open to extending the ceasefire with Israel beyond today, its fourth and final day. The group, which is regarded as a terrorist organisation by the UK and other governments, yesterday freed more hostages who'd been held in Gaza, including 14 Israelis, in exchange for Palestinian prisoners. President Biden has said he wants to keep the deal going beyond today so that all captives can be brought home and more aid be sent to Gaza. From Jerusalem, our Middle East correspondent Hugo Bichega reports.
Free again. 14 Israeli hostages released by Hamas head home after their long ordeal, along with 3 foreign nationals. Among them were 15-year-old Dafina and Ella Eliakim, 8, who were finally reunited with their mum. Chen Goldstein Almog, who was released along with her 3 children, and Roni Krivoy, released 51 days after being kidnapped from a festival where he was working as sound crew. It followed a weekend of happy reunions. Abigail Aidan spent her 4th birthday in captivity. The Israeli-American was taken on October the 7th after Hamas attacked and killed both of her parents. Her family have spoken of their relief at finally being reunited.
It was wow. I couldn't believe until I saw her. I simply couldn't believe it. Now I'm a bit more relieved. Not relieved completely, because there's happiness mixed with missing Roy and Hadar.
And there were celebrations in the occupied West Bank too. 39 Palestinian prisoners in their teens were released by Israel in exchange for the hostages. The green flag of Hamas seen flying among the crowds.
We are very happy. Thank God for this joy, and we hope that all prisoners will be released. God willing, relief for all prisoners.
Today marks the final day of the temporary ceasefire deal between Hamas and Israel. So far, 54 hostages and 117 Palestinian prisoners have been freed, and much needed aid has been sent into Gaza. Now, attention turns to whether this fragile truce could be extended. Hamas says it wants to see an extension of the current pause in fighting in Gaza. This could increase the number of hostages being freed. President Biden said the hostage release was the result of intensive US diplomacy. His administration, he said, will be working to extend the deal.
More is needed, but this deal is delivering life-saving results. Critically needed aid is going in and hostages are coming out. And this deal is structured so that it can be extended, to keep building on these results. That's my goal, that's our goal.
The Israeli Prime Minister reaffirmed his determination to continue the fighting once the temporary ceasefire ends. With about 180 people still in captivity in Gaza, the painful weight of their families continues.
Dr. Benjamin Rad is a senior fellow at the UCLA Berkel Center for International Relations. He gave us his thoughts on the possibility of an extension to the current truce.
I think the public pressure within the Israeli society has come to show the government, show Netanyahu, that the primary desire of the Israeli public is the release of the hostages before even the destruction or the dismantling of Hamas's fighting infrastructure. And so that public pressure has come to bear very strongly. So we now see efforts by the government not only to maintain the truce and the agreement, but also to offer a possible extension of it in the days to come. So it seems very likely. Israel has 2 objectives. Number 1, to return all the hostages. And number 2, to prevent any hostage taking or attacks in the future. Obviously, the second goal cannot be met until the first one is first satisfied, to make sure that those hostages return. But it remains a primary objective of the government to make sure that this cannot be repeated, which is why Netanyahu has reaffirmed his position that the attacks or the operation against Hamas will continue as soon as the hostages have all been released.
Well, with me now is Mohammed Taha from BBC Arabic. Mohammed, welcome to you. Good to see you. And what else are you hearing about a possible extension to this truce, which we understand Hamas is looking to extend?
Good morning, Samantha. Yes, indeed. It's more likely that this truce would be extended. All parties are happy that this truce would be extended. Hamas announced that. The Qatari side and President Biden said yesterday that he's welcoming that, and there are efforts towards that. Benjamin Netanyahu said he would be happy to do that as in exchange of each day of the truce, 10 hostages would be released. So it's more likely that this truce would be extended. The people in Gaza are really in dire need for aid. They are getting this aid gradually, but they are in dire need for fuel. There are very little fuel is going to northern Gaza, and this is really needed for the cars to work, for the rubbish to be cleared, for the roads to be opened, for the communications to be restored, for every aspects of life to be returned back. Even the sewage, there is a massive sewage problem that because of the motors are not working, the sewage water is everywhere. So the fuel is really needed. The medical supplies is really needed for the hospital to reopen. The Indonesian hospital in northern Gaza is partially out of service, so they want this hospital to return back to work. The hospitals in the city of Gaza as well are in a bad need to work. So all parties, whether the Americans, the Qataris, the Israelis and the Palestinians, including Hamas, are really keen for this truce to be extended, for all this effort to put together towards a permanent ceasefire maybe.
And what do we understand about those people who are returning home? We saw hundreds of thousands of Gazans move south, as they were told to do by the Israelis, to try and keep safe. They are returning to the north, many of them. In some cases, they don't have a home to return to. What do we understand about what could happen if this truce isn't extended? Will they have to return back south into temporary accommodation?
Actually, we would see what the reaction would be, but the people of Gaza, I saw pictures this morning for Gaza, for the markets of Gaza. People are acting as if the war is over. So the markets are open, they are buying their stuff, they are trying to put fuel in their cars.
Where are they getting things from to sell?
Part of that is the aid that's coming to Gaza, but this is really a good question to ask. I saw with my eyes markets are full with vegetables, fruits, and other goods in Gaza. People are now the Israeli forces stopped from stopping people from going north, so they are returning back to their destroyed homes to collect their winter stuff from the rebels. I saw a man with a hammer trying to get to a collapsed bedroom to get some clothes from the collapsed bedroom. He's using the wood of the cupboard for fire afterwards. But I want to say something, if you may allow me, Samantha, about the scenes of exchange hostages, as this is turned to be a media war between Hamas and the Palestinians. We can see that the Israelis are really keen for a low-key media appearance for the hostages. They are also keen to make the Palestinians not celebrate so much their free ones, especially in Jerusalem. There are Israeli troops around their homes. They are telling them not to celebrate that, invited the neighbors to make congratulations through balconies and windows. On the contrary, we can see the Hamas, when they are freeing the hostages, there is that friendly bond between the hostages and the Hamas fighters, to the extent that the social media in the Arab world is exploding of humor about this, and also the massive celebrations on the West Bank regarding the freed prisoners.
Okay, Mohammed, thank you.